We will see in this chapter key concepts. So what is satisfaction? Because satisfaction is considered as an antecedent of loyalty. And we'll see how both are then related to. We can see here that value is created through the product, value is created through customer service, and value is created through employee performance or relationship performance. Firms have three vectors to create value for the customers: the product, the service, and employee performance. These are antecedents of satisfaction. So satisfaction is influenced by product, service, and employee performance. So satisfaction is actually a positive disconfirmation between product expectations and real performance. If you expect on a scale between 1 and 10, you have an expectation of 8. And if when you consume the product or the service, you perceive it as 10, then you have a positive disconfirmation between what you expect and what you really. For example, you go book a hotel, and you expect actually you have no breakfast. Finally, the hotel is offering you the breakfast, or you book a standard room, and finally the hotel will offer you a superior room. Then you will have a positive disconfirmation between what you expect and what you really perceive. You will be highly satisfied. If the performance is higher than your expectations, then you will have high satisfaction. On the other side, if you expect more than you perceive, for example, you expect a 10, but you perceive only an 8, then you will have weak satisfaction. It will be a negative disconfirmation between product expectations and real performance. In this case, you will have dissatisfaction. So, for example, if you have booked a superior room, but finally the hotel will give you a standard room, or if you have booked a room with view on the city and you have a room with a view on the backyard, then you will expect more than that you finally get, and you will have a negative disconfirmation between what you expect and what you really perceive. It means that you will be highly dissatisfied. Antecedents of satisfactions are actually the performance. So we evaluate our experience in terms of product experience, in terms of service experience, in terms of employee performance, how the employees perform the services. So for example, if we take an airline, we evaluate clearly performance, how the flying attendants produce the service, and it influences directly our satisfaction. What are the antecedents of satisfaction? The antecedents are based on communication, so word of mouth communication, that is communication done by other customers, but also on companies' advertisings, past experiences, also the buyer's needs. So again, we can see in this framework that customers expect a given level of product or service performance or relationship performance, and they perceive really the performance of the product, service, or relationship. And the difference between both brings either a positive disconfirmation, which is called satisfaction, or brings a negative disconfirmation, which is called dissatisfaction. And you can see that the expectations customers have depend on these four variables. So first of all, communication. So the more positive the advertising is, the more the company gives promises to the customers, the higher the expectations. The better the word of mouth or the reviews which are done by customers are, the higher will be the expectations. Let's take the example of TripAdvisor. When customers see a lot of positive reviews, a lot of nice pictures of a hotel room, then the expectations will be high in accordance to the positive reviews or large number of profit promises which are given by the brand. Another factor is clearly the experience. So if we have only positive experiences in a given hotel room, so we have a high expectation about the standards, the services which are given in the room or in the hotel, and so the expectations will be high. And therefore, our expectations are based on what we have lived before in terms of buying experience, our past buying experiences. And last but not least, there are our needs and the buyer's needs. So the higher the needs, the higher the expectations. So if we book a room for a honeymoon or for a holiday trip, we clearly have higher expectations than if we book it only for one hotel night. According to buying situations, according to buyer's needs, customers have given expectations. And past experiences and needs are strongly related also to the buyer's incomes. So if the income is higher, the expectations are generally also higher. but it's also related to age. So younger customers have experiences and sometimes also, and mostly also lower needs, lower expectations due to less exigencies in terms of their needs. That is why these factors are important to consider when valuing expectations, product and service expectations. Clearly, firms have to pay attention how they influence the expectations through communication, companies and customer communication, but also they have to take into account the former experiences and buyers' needs that the customers have. How can we measure satisfaction? Satisfaction is measured with 3 tools. The first of the tools are customer satisfaction barometers, which are measured through surveys. It's a survey-based method, which is generally based in different touch points. For example, when a customer is placing an order on a website, he or she will be surveyed about the website experience and transaction that happens on the website. So transactional experience. Then a couple of days or weeks later, satisfaction survey is done about the delivery satisfaction. The product has arrived at the right time, and a final satisfaction barometer can be realized once the customer has product experience. First tool are customer satisfaction barometers or customer satisfaction surveys, which are also used by airlines, for example. After each flight, customers are surveyed about their experience based on a tool which is called SurfQual. The second tool, mystery shoppers, customers which are sent by the brand to observe the service provider. This tool is mostly used in the service industry. So these mystery shoppers are acting like a real shopper and will observe the service providers in order to detect dysfunctioning in the service delivery process of the service provider. And finally, the third tool are customer lost surveys. Firms measure how many customers are lost in a given period, which is an indicator about dissatisfaction. The firm can then decide to contact the lost customers in order to see if these customers defected because of dissatisfaction or change of needs. Again, there a customer satisfaction survey can be administered. The 3 tools: customer satisfaction barometers or surveys, mystery shoppers, and lost customer surveys.
There's a more recent tool called Net Promoter Score, invented by Bain & Company and Frederick Reichert, a consultant. The Net Promoter Score is an index ranging from 0 to 100, the willingness of customers to recommend a company's products or services to others. It is used as a proxy for gauging the customer's overall satisfaction with the company's product or service and the customer loyalty to the brand. A Net Promoter Score above 40 is considered as favorable. A Net Promoter Score above 50 is good. And a Net Promoter Score above 80 is excellent. Some examples: Apple has a Net Promoter Score of 47. Google only 11, so very low. Facebook, which has a Net Promoter Score of 21, so very bad example. BMW, for example, with a Net Promoter Score of 40. Starbucks had a very high Net Promoter Score, 77. IKEA 9, so a bad Net Promoter Score. So this means that for companies having a low Net Promoter Score below 40, customers are not ready to really recommend these firms.